Join me as I dive into a simulated space station emergency and see if I can figure out what to do next before time runs out. Understanding space station emergencies is crucial for both astronauts and space enthusiasts, as the unique environment of space can turn even the smallest issue into a life-threatening crisis. The isolation and confinement of a space station make it essential to be prepared for any situation that may arise, and knowing how to respond can mean the difference between a successful mission and a disaster. Space stations are complex systems with many interconnected components, and equipment failures can have far-reaching consequences. For example, a malfunction in the life support system can quickly lead to a buildup of carbon dioxide, posing a serious threat to the health and safety of the astronauts on board. Similarly, a failure in the station's power grid can cause a cascade of failures throughout the system, leaving the crew without access to critical systems. Medical crises are another type of emergency that can occur on a space station, and these can be particularly challenging to respond to due to the limited medical resources available. Astronauts must be trained to recognize the signs of a medical emergency and take swift action to stabilize the patient and prevent further complications. In addition to equipment failures and medical crises, space stations are also vulnerable to other types of emergencies, such as fires and depressurization. A fire on a space station can spread quickly, fueled by the oxygen-rich environment and the presence of flammable materials. The potential consequences of an emergency on a space station are severe, and can include the loss of life, damage to the station, and even the termination of the mission. For this reason, astronauts undergo extensive training to prepare them for emergency situations, and space agencies like NASA have developed sophisticated systems and procedures to support emergency response. Despite these preparations, emergencies can still occur, and it is up to the astronauts to respond quickly and effectively to minimize the damage and ensure the success of the mission. By studying the types of emergencies that can occur on a space station and the responses of astronauts to these emergencies, we can gain a deeper understanding of the challenges and risks of space travel. The response to a space station emergency is critical, and requires a combination of technical expertise, teamwork, and decision-making under pressure. Astronauts must be able to quickly assess the situation, identify the root cause of the problem, and take effective action to mitigate the damage and ensure the safety of the crew. This requires a deep understanding of the station's systems and operations, as well as the ability to work effectively in a high-stress environment. By studying the responses of astronauts to past emergencies, we can gain valuable insights into the skills and strategies required to respond effectively to these types of situations. The International Space Station has experienced its share of emergencies over the years, including a near miss with a piece of space debris in 2012. On that occasion, the crew had to scramble to respond to the threat, using the station's maneuvering thrusters to avoid a potentially catastrophic collision. The crew's quick thinking and effective response prevented a disaster, and highlighted the importance of emergency preparedness and training in space exploration. In another example, a medical emergency occurred on the station in 2019, when an astronaut suffered a sudden illness that required emergency treatment. The crew responded swiftly, stabilizing the patient and arranging for evacuation to a hospital on Earth. One of the most dramatic space station emergencies in recent history was the ammonia leak that occurred on the International Space Station in 2013. The leak was caused by a malfunction in one of the station's cooling systems, and posed a significant threat to the safety of the crew. The astronauts on board had to act quickly to isolate the affected area and prevent the leak from spreading, using a combination of technical expertise and cunning to outwit the malfunctioning system. The incident highlighted the importance of emergency preparedness and the need for effective communication and teamwork in responding to crises in space. The ammonia leak on the International Space Station was a stark reminder of the risks and uncertainties of space travel, and the need for constant vigilance and preparedness in the face of potential emergencies. The crew's response to the crisis was swift and effective, and prevented a potentially disastrous outcome. The incident also highlighted the importance of international cooperation in space exploration, as astronauts and engineers from around the world worked together to respond to the emergency and ensure the continued safety of the crew. By studying this and other space station emergencies, we can gain a deeper understanding of the challenges and risks of space travel, and the importance of preparedness and teamwork in responding to crises in space. The stakes were high, with the safety of the crew and the success of the mission hanging in the balance. By responding quickly and effectively to the emergency, the astronauts were able to mitigate the damage and ensure the continued success of the mission. In the aftermath of an emergency, astronauts and engineers conduct a thorough review of the incident to identify the root cause and develop strategies for preventing similar incidents in the future. This process is critical in improving the safety and reliability of space stations, and in reducing the risks associated with space travel. By studying past emergencies and developing effective responses, we can improve our understanding of the challenges and risks of space exploration, and develop the skills and strategies required to respond effectively to crises in space. The importance of preparedness and training for astronauts in emergency situations cannot be overstated, as the unique environment of space requires a unique set of skills and strategies to respond to emergencies. By understanding the types of emergencies that can occur on a space station and the responses of astronauts to these emergencies, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the challenges and risks of space travel, and the critical role that emergency preparedness plays in ensuring the success of space missions. Join the conversation in the comments below and share your thoughts on space station safety, and don't forget to check out my other videos on space exploration, where I dive into the latest developments and discoveries in the field.